Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
1 2 1 2. We're back one more time with the rhymes. I'm just playing. Y'all want me to bust into a verse one of these days? You never know. I might just do that. What's poppin', y'all? What's poppin'? Welcome back to another episode Medianoche Podcast. This is Art Morera. This is episode 19. We got a homie that I've known since high school. High school, right?
Yeah, man.
I wasn't really cool. I wasn't friends with you. I didn't know of you in high school.
Yeah.
But we were there at the same time.
Pretty much. It was like, familiar faces.
Yeah.
You know?
Different little crews.
Yeah.
I got City Official here. What's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
You doing all right? It's
I'm
good to see you, bro.
Likewise, man.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a little while, man. Right before I pressed record, we were saying how, like, we hang out every day via Instagram. You know? It's funny, right?
Via Instagram. It's gotten to that point, man. Facebook, any platform that's on the internet. People just stay connected on that more than they do personally. It's gotten to that point.
And Miami is such an active city that, like, we live here. Like, I have family that's been here their whole lives, and I barely ever see them, and vice versa. So it's just funny where we're at.
Yeah, man. I'm serious. What you just said is pretty much where we're at. Because, like, I can relate to that. Like, I wish I could see my grandma more than I do. You know what I mean? Like, between work and studio and, it's being consumed into the hustle. It's just,
Yeah.
bro.
Joe Budden has that one line where he's like, "Tell my grandma she always been a friend of me. I would have visited more if I wasn't into me." It's like,
Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. I remember that line, too.
yeah.
That's so real. I remember listening to that verse and being like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, damn. That hit me. That hit home. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
like, I know how it is, man.
Like, you feel guilty about it, and then you hit them up and apologize for not hitting them up, and they tell you, "Why are you stressing?" Like, I'm happy that you're,
Nah, but lately she's been on my back though, man. A couple times I've been into the family reunions. She's like, tú no me visitas más. I said, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because like grandma, I'm always working, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh man.
But they're right, and like you feel like if you feel like if you take time away from the demand of this music industry to spend time with your family, you'll be better in their eyes, but you're dooming yourself in the music industry.
Exactly. Because the next man's like ready to, waiting and ready for you to just fall and, not do what you're supposed to and not be, there when you should. Those little times it really matter, man. From time to time, it goes a long way. It's
funny, man. Like, where I find myself now is like, bro, like I'm just always where we're sitting at right now. This is my cave. Pro Tools is open. Like, Currency has that one line that always stuck with me. He's like, iTunes never closes. Moving units at 4 a.m.
Facts.
Like, exactly.
That's so true.
Facts. That's literally where I'm at every day. So I'll get that missed call when I wake up from my mom or my uncle, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I be getting guilt trip. I guilt trip myself all the time, but like,
this is cool, man. It's not like, you're out here messing around, I mean, you yourself know where you're at in your life and what you're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but yo, man, back to the music.
yeah, man.
So what's up, man? You've been, like, as far as I've known you, I know that you've always been, I met you through Drew, like, cordially, because we were both at Barber Goldman. You were like in a different hip hop crew. I was more on that underground shit.
Yeah.
And after we graduated, I was put onto you, and you produced that one song for this EP that I never dropped called "Break Me Down."
Oh yeah, I remember that song too.
Yeah, I listen to that song nowadays, and I'm like, the writing is good, the beat is great, but my delivery wasn't there yet, and that's why I was so self-conscious of like properly releasing it.
I think we were both in the same place because I was finding myself production wise still. I'm still growing. Musically, I wasn't really there all the way as well. So we was in the same place, in the same space, you can say. But it made sense, for that time.
Yeah, but it was more like a way it was more of a way for me to just get out there and start collabing with people that are in the city. Wow, it's just another song, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, just to break the ice as well. You know, as far as collaborating with the people and in the local area, wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying? It's always right to just reach out to other artists and people in the area, man, just to catch that vibe.
What do you like doing more, producing or engineering now?
Producing, man.
Yeah?
I've been so into production lately that I haven't really been engineering much, man.
Really?
Nah, man.
For a while, like, I would holler at you to come kick it, and you're like, yeah, come through, and you would be either with Hayes Fam or like you would be engineering with someone else, like Billy Blue or some
Billy
shit.
Blue, yeah, and Spliff Star as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was 2 years when he was out here and we were just going hard. He had this little conglomerate paper rock thing going. He still does. So if I wasn't, at Pole Boys, I was with Spliff, or I'm still working with those guys at Pole Boys to this day. Spliff moved, to New York and whatnot. Well, no, he's in Atlanta now, but yeah, we still keep in touch and stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You be busy, man. Like, like people don't understand, bro. I don't want to be dismissive. People do understand, but not everyone understands.
Not everyone understands
that, like, you're either going to college and working this music, or you have a job and you're working this music, or all three.
Yeah, man. There was at one time I was, going to the audio engineering school right there in Southwest Dixie, or SAE.
Oh, you went to the SAE?
I did that. I did that whole schooling thing. I went through that whole process, so I know what that is. I know what it took to pay your dues and learn what you had to learn, and I went through all that.
Did you find it easy to understand? When they explained it, do you know how to work a compressor?
Yeah. For the most part, any compressor, you can put in front of me. It's kind of like they all do the same thing. It's just different variations, different sounds, different stuff that, comes out of those compressors. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. But, man.
I think it was in Pensado's place. Like, you watch Pensado's place on YouTube?
Yeah, every so often I try to catch some reviews and interviews on that, just refreshing my brain and, keep me up to par in certain things that, I lack.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody had referenced him that they were saying how he was like, I've been engineering for 30 years. I still don't properly know how to work a compressor.
Nah, I mean, to this day, I technically don't. I just mess around with the knobs till I catch that frequency and that vibe where it's like, you know what, I like how this is sounding, so I'm gonna just keep it right where it's at,
And that's like how subjective it is. Like, someone will just get a crack at it. They'll just turn a knob here and there and be like, I like how that sounds. I don't even want to have to explain what I did. I just like the way it sounds.
Like the way it sounds. You don't gotta get too complex, man. Just keep it simple. It sounds good. Yeah. Boom. Keep it right there.
Do you rock with like any like low fidelity hip hop, any low fidelity music at all? Like,
nah, I can't really. I mean, the sound, as far as sonically, I love the music, but I can't tell you an artist or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that this whole, especially with Florida rap, it's funny, man, how like I asked you about engineering because, before, do you remember like maybe like 10 years ago, bro? Now it's been like 10 years. Y'all had that studio in like, it's like Miami Lakes or something, and like I walked into there and I was like, yo, I'm working on this song, and like I put in the CD or however I had the beat, and it was the beat to this song I have called Hollywood, and I just spit it for y'all. Like, it was a room with you and all your peoples, man. It was a dark, dim lit studio session, and I just performed this entire record, and y'all were just sitting there like tolerating me while I spit this whole record, Nah,
definitely, man. But it wasn't like we wasn't listening either, you know what I'm saying? Because you were saying some shit at the same time.
You remember that?
Yeah, you was zoned out. Like, you was just like going in.
Yeah, I remember that moment, man. Like, when I look back, like, there was a lot of times that I could have, like, I was a late bloomer with like understanding how like the industry worked, because you watch studio sessions and what these cats be doing, they'll be like, play me something.
Yeah.
They expect you to already have it figured out on your world where you can just play them a record.
Yeah, man. I used to watch a lot of Just Blaze TV back when that was the thing on YouTube. He used to like put up like different episodes of him in the studio working with T.I., producing, a record for him and orchestrating records like from the top, like from the get, like have freaking live symphonies playing, people there, and he's orchestrating everything, and you know it was just crazy to see him in that realm. Like, damn, he could do this, he could do that, get on the MPC, sample, and get on the keys and do something crazy. And it was like, yo, this is what it is, man. I want to do all that. I want to learn. I want to get into that world, tap into it, and yeah, man, that thing opened up my brain, man, to see that, you know, for the first time that way, you know, because that was something that we don't have access to those kind of things, and we don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like when you and I were in high school, the only media that we saw was like you'll buy like the deluxe version of a CD, and it came with a little DVD, and it was like this edited video, and all you see is a computer screen with the transients, like the waves.
Pretty much.
The rapper like looking cool and talking all suave to the camera, and we're like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
you know?
man. You know,
Simple
we ain't have
enough.
much to go by, but you know, with that alone, you know, that, you know, those were the things that kind of put us, you know, into the places that we're in right now. You know, it just sparked that idea and that energy, and you know, that was pretty cool, man.
Like how long, like what's a studio session like for you? Everyone's different. Like if you were to try to describe to somebody like what a day in the life in the studio with you is like, what is it?
Man, you're pretty much you're gonna see me in my laptop going through different sounds, just going through different vibes, and then pretty much whoever's in the room with me, you know what I mean, and they just hearing with me, they start like, hey, that's the one, you know. I'm just like going off the energy in the room, and you know, as far as production goes, that's how I start my production and stuff, and you know, we just go from there, man. You know,
so
the
like,
drums come naturally, yo. It's just.
So like the first thing that you go through is sounds.
It sounds, yeah. If I'm in the studio, like, if I don't got no session going on with anybody, and it's just like straight raw, just me going out there to catch a vibe. That's how I'm gonna start my sessions.
So like, it's safe to say that like a random synth or something will trigger some type of vibe, like you said, and then you'll compose a melody from there, and you just kind of go from there. Yeah,
much.
for sure, man. Like we were talking about Machine before I got started. What do you produce on right now?
Right now, I'm on Logic Pro, and yeah, man, I'm using native instruments. I'm using a bunch of sound packs, man. So you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like, listen, man, Logic Pro is so underrated. People think Pro Tools industry standard, and then like now Studio One and Ableton is getting all this like hype. But
Yeah.
yo, low key, Logic Pro. If I didn't know anything about Pro Tools today and I wanted to get into the technical side, I would go with
with
Logic
Pro?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's more easy. You know what I mean? It's like more. You can definitely learn quick on Logic for some reason. Like
Yeah.
Pro Tools, you gotta know quick keys and you know do certain things. I mean, you can do the basics, you know, press record and you know,
Yeah.
learn it yourself to a certain degree, you know. But there's gonna be a lot of back end things that you're not gonna catch if you're not like really like going to school or you're not around somebody that's really knowledgeable to with that program, because that comes with a lot. Pro Tools.
Yo, there was this video that I saw on the internet of The Alchemist, right? The Alchemist is like, he's more lately known as like a personality with Action Bronson.
Yeah,
you
with
know?
that F That's Delicious show.
Yeah.
I love that.
But if you go on the internet and you look up, like, if you type in Alchemist making a beat, you're going to see some old footage of him with Prodigy. and all this.
Yeah.
But there's
man.
this one video.
Rest in peace, Prodigy too.
For real, rest in peace, Prodigy, man. I remember like I heard the news, like, I was living in North Miami with my uncle, and I was like, damn, I was riding my bike to Flanagan's to eat. Yeah, I remember when I heard that, bro. Rest in peace, Prodigy, man.
Nah, seriously, man.
But listen, like, there's this video, right, of The Alchemist, right? It's in another YouTube channel, just some random YouTube channel, and it's him explaining the psychology of how he goes about his beats. It's like a 7-8 minute video.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he says was like, people be asking me what I use, to produce on or whatever. And man, I don't care. Just make it sing. That's
Yeah,
what he
make
says.
it sing. Yeah, man.
And like, that's why, like, people think, oh, what do you use? And it's like, doesn't matter. Like, do you like this beat or not?
Exactly. It don't even matter, man. Don't get too complex with it, man. Just get it done. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you come across and it catches that moment, that vibe on you, man. Just go with it, man. Don't ignore it. You know what I mean? Don't get too crazy.
You be sitting on making a beat like for a long ass time, or you already kind of got that little groove, or in or how long does it take for you to make a beat?
Typically, I'd have a good body of work going for me, like in like a good 5-10 minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like it almost sounds a little like for people that aren't familiar, they think, wow, making a song, like I hear all these 12-hour studio sessions, like, wow, it must take that long.
Yeah.
But when you've been at it for so long and you are familiar with your DAW or whatever, you be cranking them shits out and
Quick, man.
You
Like
know?
like a couple weeks back, I had my boy Ross Vega, at my personal, space in the crib. I do some recordings there, and he wanted me to make a beat, from the off on the spot, and he wanted to just catch a quick vibe, and I did the beat in like a matter of 10 minutes. He was like blown away. He was like, "What the hell?" And he already had like a verse going, and from there you have a halfway record done in like a half hour. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's how you know that you're like really good at what you do, man.
Yeah.
You can create like while they're breaking up the bud and gutting the cigar, the beats being made right in front of them, and like because the human brain, bro, like they be processing these thoughts much quicker than the hand can write or tap on the screen.
Yeah.
So like as the beats being developed, they're preparing themselves to just delve into it. You know, that's good, man. Because it's a tedious thing for some aspiring artists to like be in the studio. They want to collab with somebody, but the producer is just taking forever, just like toggling through snares and shit.
Let me tell you, man, that was one of my things way back when, like producing in front of people. I could never do that before. Like I couldn't even do it in front of my brothers. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I had to be alone at all times. And I was like that for a good 5 years. Yeah, people will always find that weird. But it was just my comfort zone, man. I just wasn't there yet, yo. I wasn't like, I wasn't like ready to show myself in front of people, and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be to show out.
And they expect you to. They see all this equipment.
Yeah, because they hear everything you're doing. They're like, oh, I want to see it. I want to see it. And it's like, nah, chill. I ain't ready for that, man.
Right. Yeah. And it's almost like that. In a way, that's why I prefer to work alone, because I don't like having someone over my shoulder just expecting the magic. Mm-hmm. It's like, yo, come back later. I'll just press play. And
I guess I wasn't in the greatest place to take constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, I take that real good. So, like, I'm so comfortable where I'm at production-wise, like, sound-wise, that, like, anyone could be in front of me, and I'm just gonna go ham, like, because I'm so confident right now.
There's like both sides of, I'm gonna set up this question like with this little disclaimer, like both sides and both answers are okay because this is a matter of preference, right? Are you the type of like composer and producer that like you be perfecting every little thing, or you just kind of let it rock?
Well, it depends, yo, because sometimes I can be that way as far as being tedious with the sounds and all that stuff, I can be that way depending on where I'm trying to take it, But at times, well, often, more often lately, it's been pretty much just laying it down, keeping it simple, and then like, not doing too much effects, doing too many, too much crazy stuff on the sounds. You know what I'm saying? Oversaturating too much. Just getting the right level and the right mix.
Yeah.
Pretty much, just letting it rock.
Exactly, man. Like, yo, like butchering mixes, it totally just kills it, man.
Yeah, because you're oversaturating, you're doing them, you're overdoing, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like making it muddy, and it's just like sometimes you just gotta like keep everything natural, everything, just polish, EQ, don't do much, do the minimum, you know what I'm saying? Just get the levels right, man. That's key.
Oh man, it's been a little while since I seen you, bro. You still rocking with like Kiko?
Of course,
and the Heist, yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. We just dropped the tape like almost a year ago, man.
I almost feel a little silly asking that, but I had to, like what's up with them, that kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, we building, man. The Heist actually right now is in DR doing some fundraising, giving back to the kids in Dominican Republic, giving school supplies and doing a bunch of dope stuff out there in the craziest parts of the island, man. Like the hood, man. Like the less fortunate, like they ain't got nothing. They out there sleeping damn near on the floor and like dirt, like. And he's out there freaking giving back and going crazy out there. And he just there was an article that my boy sent me that was from Dominican Republic, and they were talking about that. Like they were talking about him. And I was like, damn, like he's making a little impact in that little city right now.
That's great, man. That's awesome. Like
as far as Kiko goes, we're studying studio work, and Ayo Juan, Khaled's engineer, he's in the picture with Kiko as well. So we're all, keeping this studio running right now next to Khaled, actually. So, everything's looking good right now, man.
That's awesome, bro. Kiko's a good dude, man. Like, man, I got a lot of love for Kiko, bro. He produced that song that I have called Sometimes.
Oh, I remember that record.
Yeah, that song is heavy, bro. That's the only song that him and I had worked on. But it's one of those, like, man, I'm just happy I got a record with Kiko, bro. Like, I remember when I was out in Cali, I was made aware that they were out there to shoot that video with Young Breed. Remember that?
Yeah,
around
the Issues record.
Yeah, around the Redwoods and the Mere Woods,
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And I remember being like, at that time I had already familiarized myself with like North Cali, and like I was staying up in Humboldt County, and there they have the Avenue of the Giants, which is like this whole just huge section. It's like a forest pretty much, where they have all these groves with all these redwoods naturally,
Yeah.
Like you're walking on like the dirt, like, there's barely any vegetation around the redwoods because they eat it all. Like they absorb all the water, leaving none left for any other little bushes.
That's crazy.
So when I went to the Mere Woods upon that invite to go rock with it was Kiko, it was the Heist,
Jay Guida,
and Young Breed, right?
Breed.
And I was like, okay, yeah, let me come through and just show love, And I went there, and like those redwoods, they have that boardwalk in between. It's like you walk on this boardwalk, and I remember being like, damn, like they're missing out on just the soil, Like
yeah.
I remember being like, damn, this is tight, but it ain't.
It ain't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't there, man, but I heard it was pretty crazy.
Man, you would have loved it, bro. Like, when's the last time you went to Cali?
I've never been to Cali. I've never been nowhere near the West Coast, man.
Damn.
You can talk to me about all the way to South and East Coast, man. I've been all over the East, man, but don't talk to me about the West. I gotta go to the West ASAP. I'm about to break that ice soon.
On Google Flights, you look up a flight on Google Flights, and on the desktop version, it has like this like graph where it shows the highs and lows. You just pick a low ticket so you save some bread and just go, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, bro.
I know it sounds so simple, but it's like I just encourage people to travel, bro. Like while you're here, So
yeah, definitely.
You don't
man.
get stuck in
Just
that
to break
fishbowl.
Yeah, just to open up them portals, man. Because sometimes getting boxed in a certain area, man, that does take effect, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, man, it does, bro.
It does, man.
But you know what, man? Like, especially it's just hard, bro. Like you almost like encourage people. You know how like someone is like they'll talk about a movie you haven't seen, and then you'll be like, nah, I haven't seen it, and they'll hit you with that gasp, like, you haven't seen it. It's like chill. It's just a movie,
Like relax. I can see you tomorrow, man. You'll be alive too, man. It ain't gonna affect you.
Yeah, bro, that's kind of how it is, man, with traveling, bro. But I feel like traveling is like the real shit, bro. And I feel like hell yeah, like I don't know, it's something about the open road and these random rest stops. They just inspire the illest music,
All the greenery around you too. It's just we in the city all the time, so.
And you're in motion, man. Like what's crazy? I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like. Sometimes when I travel across the country, because I've done it like 10 times there and back, And like, this is the thing that kind of bugs me out. I don't mean to come off a little too deep here, but I'm going to have to. Yeah. Like, when you travel from South Florida to North California and you zoom out on the map on your phone, you zoom out, You see the city, then you zoom out to the state, then the west part of the country, then the whole continent. And then even more, you're like, yo, no lie, bro, like, this shit is big as fuck, this planet, but it really isn't.
Nah.
This planet is really not that big.
Yeah, it's a small world, man.
It really is.
Like, it really is a small world.
And it kind of bugs you out how, like, as big as it is, but in the grand scheme, it really isn't even that big.
Yeah.
And all the while, it's like, yo, I'm stuck in my city.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to, to see it in that perspective, because like, damn, man, like there's more, man, and you just feel like you just boxed in somehow and you can't get out of it because
Like,
I guess the way everything's set up, you know what I mean?
like, what do you feel like? What do you feel like you're boxed in?
Nah, man, I'm definitely not boxed in because I'm doing what I want to do and things are going all right. You know what I'm saying? And imagine how things can be when I'm doing all them travelings and like talking about moving around like you saying right now. That'll definitely, I can imagine that it would have me in a different place. You know what I mean? Like
Literally.
yeah, literally. But as far as career wise, because you're connecting with other people that you're not connecting with like out here.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they got going on. They could have great things going on. They could involve you and just open up doors and more doors than that's happening right now in your own city. Miami, man.
I love it. I mean, I love Miami, but like that's the thing. Every place has its little charm, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like every time that I go to San Francisco, well, I haven't gone lately because I'm on probation. But like all the times that I went to San Francisco, like I would go to Golden Boy Pizza. It's just this random little restaurant. Like no one really knows about it from here.
It's just like a good local place that people know in that area.
Yeah. I'll go to Santa Cruz and there's this like little restaurant on the pier. I'll eat like some fisherman's pasta and shit. It's just like these little things,
Yeah.
But like people that come to Miami, I'll be like, yo, check out, Latin
Blase blah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, when's the last time you had a medianoche?
The last time I had a medianoche, I would say was 2 months ago. Late night vibes after a studio session. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's just normal for us, so like we just put it off, But people come here.
Take it for granted.
People come here and they're like, I want Caribbean food. Where do I go? Like here at the hotel, they'll be asking me and shit.
Yeah. It's everywhere, man. We got a melting pot in Miami.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Like that's one thing about Miami that it's not how it is elsewhere. I think that we have the best food.
Yeah, I feel like we do, I've never been to New Orleans, and I've heard their freaking food out there is pretty wild.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's something about the Caribbean presence here.
Of course.
Dominican food.
The Dominican food, the Cuban food, the Puerto Rican food, the Haitian food, the Jamaican food. Yo, we got that.
And the portions, too.
Mm-hmm. You're not gonna find it nowhere else in the country, man.
Like that's another thing too, man. Like, when you do go out there to Cali, just be prepared for it's just an overwhelming amount of just Mexican food. You're Hispanic and you're gonna expect you can look online for like some type of cuisine, and
you're not gonna find no Cuban cuisine. You're not gonna find no Dominican spots.
It's like scarce. It's like one 150 miles that way. You type in Cuban
and that's
cuisine
the stuff that'll probably get me like, I don't want to be here.
yeah, exactly.
Nah, not really. I mean, let me stop. But yeah, that sucks. You gotta have options, man. And the fact that we in Miami and we have none but options is freaking dope.
Yeah, you feel like you're a little spoiled being down here.
I'm spoiled, bro. Spoiled in every aspect, because you go to other places. I went to North Carolina and I was just like, yo, what do you do out here? How do you live, man?
You almost feel like. Do you feel like sometimes like?
I guess where I'm at in life, I can't relate to being out there. When I don't know, whatever, but.
You saying that to me is like it's almost alien to me now. Like at one point I was like that, bro. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
Like this is all we know.
Yeah.
And then you travel outside and you get exposed to everything else that the world has to offer. This country has to offer.
Which I do like and appreciate. But then it's like, damn, yo, you know what I'm saying? Them things that you're used to that. It's not there. It's like, hold up. I don't know if I can settle for this right now.
It's kind of like, I feel like that's just how the body works. Like you're outside and you want the AC. Mm-hmm. You're in the AC and you want, you just want the opposite of what you have.
It's another.
Yeah. Exactly, man.
And everything too, man.
But like, so like, tell me, man, like, what are you working on at the moment? Like specifically?
I mean, I'm not really, I'm working on different things, man. Just working with a lot of artists, different artists, Lately, I've been tapping into the whole Spanish side of thing, the Spanish market. I got records with like a good decent like list, not a big list, but it's a decent list, it's still growing, Mike Towers, Yango Flow. I just did a record with a artist all the way from Spain, and she goes by Mala Rodriguez, and she got history in the rap game. Apparently, I wasn't really knowledgeable till my friend got me the placement with her, and I looked her up. I looked into her, did my little studies, and I was like, oh, she got records with Romeo Santos and Nelly Furtado, and I'm like, whoa, this could be something. I mean, she hasn't really dropped a record in a couple years, so apparently this is gonna be her comeback. We dropped the record on the 6th of July, and the first week, she had the visuals already as well, which she dropped the same day, we dropped the record. And the visuals, the first week was at 1.5 mil. So I was like, oh crap, like this girl got pulled. Like,
And you made that beat?
yeah, I produced that record. It's called Gitanas.
That's awesome, man. Congrats,
Yeah,
bro.
Appreciate that. So, yeah, man, I got that going for me. And I went on my freaking account on AskCap. I was like, oh, it came up on my account. I'm like, oh, it's legit. It's good. It's like my first placement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Big placement.
Fire.
So, thank the Lord. And finally, man, after all the years, this is what you work for. You know what I'm saying? So, I got that going for me right now, But other than that, I'm still working with, like, all the local Miami heads, that you're hearing about, like Sin, Billy Blue, Press P is supposed to link up with Press P. I got a record with him and Blue as well. Jig, you. I mean, we got to get to work as well, man. But yeah, I'm working with some heads right now, man. Of course, the Heist. We working on this album as well. We putting it together right now.
You in the studio every day?
I may not be in the studio every day. If I can't make it to the studio, I'm at the house working. So you can say I'm in the studio every day.
That's one thing that I always found admirable, man. Like y'all clicked up, because ever since I've known you, since I first went to your crib when your little brothers were like still like youngins and shit.
Yeah.
Like you always had like a great support circle, like everyone around you was just collectively just pushing towards that goal, and like not everyone has that, bro, and that's like a blessing that you do have that,
Yo, man, I thank God for for my family and everyone that's been around,
I remember,
because even when they was around, they weren't like yesing everything. Then they would like like, yo, do this, that, and the third. They would
Nah, like, but it's more not even just like blood family, also just the homies, man. Like I remember I would holler at you to go to your studio, because I just wanted to be around numerous people in a studio, because I was like, I've always been kind of like the loner, so I'll holler at you like, yo, let me come through, and you always open the doors to me, which I appreciate. And Randy would be in the back just kind of like
just
low key
scoping everything, like to this day. That hasn't changed, by the way.
And like in a weird way, man, like one of the things that it's kind of like a learning lesson was like, I learned that I don't fit in everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Which is it's not even against anyone. It's me. Mm-hmm. There was something all in my head that I was like, yeah, this is good for them, but like, let me not overstay my welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, you shouldn't even ever took. I don't know, man, because I felt like I get where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. But I felt like we all should just learn from each other, just take certain things, from each other, you know what I mean? Just
yeah, I mean, I did like one of the things that I totally took from how y'all worked was your openness for other people's input. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I scoped out, because remember I used to be in that crew with DMG,
mm-hmm.
and like it was kind of like that over there. The chemistry was a little different because everyone's is, but like one thing that was evident with y'all, with Hayes fam and y'all working, was like you would be on the computer working shit,
mm-hmm.
and then somebody would be like, yo, try this, and then you'll be like, and not even thinking, you'll just do it real quick, just to audition the idea.
Yeah. And
I remember being like, man, that's good, man. Not everyone's like that. Some people are more like
to themselves, and they want to do what they want to do, and they ain't trying to hear what with your input.
And then like you would turn around and be like, well, what y'all think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's admirable. Not everyone's like that, bro. You know, like your attitude was always welcoming, and that's something. Even in the studios, especially like big studio sessions, people are prone to just be quiet, to not interrupt the thought process of the people working. Whereas with you, in your studio, like the one that I told you I would come and visit, it was like the opposite. You're like, yo, at free will, everyone just, you know, throw ideas at me.
I just feel like good energy is important in the studio, man, because, you know, I just feel like, you know, when people set a certain tone in the studio,
Yeah.
you know, it affects where it can go.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you put like certain barriers with people, you know, in the vicinity, I just felt like it just takes away what could be. So I just felt like, you know, getting criticism from different people in different aspects would help, you know, what it should be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guide me to like a direction I should take it, you know. And that helped a lot, you know. It helped a lot, and I learned a lot from it in the process, you know, because there's certain things you'll never think about that you would hear from this person and be like, oh, maybe that's a good idea, you know what I'm saying? Let me try it out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, man, I remember with me, there was a time when, like, I always had trees on me. You get me? And I'll come through to the studio, and, like, I felt like the thing that I wanted to contribute to the vibe was, like, yo, I'll bring some trees, you know? Yo, I'll bring some trees, man. It's all good. I'll bring some trees.
We ain't mad at that, bro.
And, like, and I remember, like, there was a couple sessions that I went to, man, where, like, I almost felt like I was doing too much. This was, like, a lot of trial and error, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yo, and I almost feel, like, extra too comfortable just because I brought the trees instead of, like, knowing my place, you know, that I'm a guest in this session. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear you. But, I see what you're saying, and I can see how it would come off with someone else. But I mean, I know you from a certain place, so it wasn't like that with you, as personally as far as I go. You know what I'm saying? And you know, yeah, man. I mean,
nah, hell nah, yo. I was rolling up a blunt, and you were also like, it was just things were in rotation, you know, and like that's one thing that I really appreciate about just you, man. You know, like in general, like you were welcoming, and also you would match people on their energy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You ain't trying to make it awkward for anyone either. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember how like man, you would come through with some in the beat battles. You'll just come through, man, and like I almost kind of caught the vibe from you where like you weren't even too concerned with winning. You were just kind of like, I'm just happy to be here to play my shit.
Yeah, because I've never done something like that, you know. And I felt like that was breaking the ice for me at that moment in my life, because when it happened and the reaction came about, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, that was crazy. And I was just so thankful to you, man. Like, I remember being so thankful for that moment, and you guys and Nikki and all that. And I was just like, it was so dope. I've never done something like that. You know what I mean? So that was cool, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like the thing that we were trying to do with those events, bro, was like just trying to like, I guess, make people feel like they're doing something, you know?
Yeah.
Like in retrospect, we were talking about a small room, but that small room made 50 people look like a lot, you know?
Yeah, man. It wasn't like you had nobodies out there. You had some people, man. You had Eric Biddens, I think Ron Slider or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You had some dope local heads that are doing fine right now, you know what I'm saying, for themselves. And,
yeah.
And that was cool, man. It wasn't like you was just moving on some crazy vibes. Like, you was doing what you was supposed to for the community, yo, and it turned out pretty good for what it was. I think, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think that like the whole underlining theme, like for example, you telling me you just got your first placement. Like people that don't know you, they're gonna look at you and be like, okay, he's doing well. They don't know that this is so long in the making. It's like it took you however long to blow up overnight in that world, you know?
Oh, Lord, they don't know, man. That was a crazy... It's a process, man. Everything's a process, yo.
Yeah. Like, people just be, like, quitting too quick, dog.
Yeah,
I just can't... It breaks my heart when I see people that used to... Yo, look, man, the gram is funny. Like, Instagram is funny, bro. Because people put their lives out there, and then everyone is a spectator, you know? So I'll go on the gram, right? Especially since I've been doing this little podcast, and like old faces like will comment on, you know, whoever it is when they'll repost it, and I'll look into their little world, right? And I'll be like, damn, bro, at one point in time, you were full of dreams of pursuing this or that, and I really don't like seeing people giving up. You know,
man.
that shit baffles me. You know,
It does, man. It does, man. And I don't know, man. I just feel like there was too many people around me in a certain part of my life that was on that path, and I was just like, yo, man, I can't be that next guy. That pushed me like to a different direction, like solitude. Like I was just alone at a certain time, just working on my craft, making sure that thing's getting right. You know what I'm saying? And that was my focus at one time, and that's it. I wasn't worried about anyone's issues and fallouts in their lives, man, because I wasn't trying to catch that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And it's almost like a good selfish, because like in their minds, they're like, you don't care. And it's not that you don't care, it's that you can't afford to care too much.
Exactly, man.
You know?
It's gonna affect you, man. Your own path in your life and what you trying to do, man. You gotta be selfish with that.
Yeah. It's like when Jay said, like, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them, so I got rich and gave back. To me, that's a win-win.
Bars.
Yeah, nah. Jay you can raise a kid off of Jay-Z lines.
That's true, man.
You know?
People don't even understand that. They sleeping, man.
Yeah, for real. Like you know, now that we're on that topic, like how do you feel, you know, about where music is at now in comparison to the aging generation before? How they just are almost like dismissive of it. Not everyone. There's a few they know what's up.
Yeah, there's a few that do know what's up, man. But right now, for the majority, man, they're not really like worried about paying homage or even acknowledging what was or even what is to this day or whatever's left of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just so like on what they're on, you know, and putting their message out that they ain't even shedding light on what's really happening as well, you know.
Yeah.
We got artists out there still doing what they supposed to and representing the culture the way they do, but the way where it's at right now, that's not really the focus, you know what I'm saying?
How does it hit you when you look up on the internet, you see these huge festivals? Yo, the festival game now is insane.
Yeah, it's
bro.
leveled up right now, bro. Like
It really
crazy.
is, man.
Yeah.
Which is contradictotive to me because I'm here like, yo, people don't really know about no MF Doom like they should. But you see some footage of some festival and like a song of his comes up and just everyone seems to know.
Yeah, they know. It's just, you know.
It's just tricky, you know? I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's that limbo, man. It's stuck in that limbo, man.
Yeah.
Like the other day I was in a barbershop and I'm just like overhearing this conversation with a client to another barber about music and he was like, Bro, ain't nobody trying to hear all that positive, you know what I'm saying? Lyrical, miracle, blah, 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 man. Like, I'm just trying to nod my head and jam, man. Like, you know, that's where it's at right now. That's what people wanna feed off of right now. They ain't worried about that message, man. Like,
not everyone. But there's a crowd, bro. You know,
there's a crowd coming up now that they're opening up to it and opening their eyes. They're waking up again. You know what I'm saying?
Like one thing that I appreciate, like mind you, what I'm about to say is like I got to give thanks to like the curator that like sparked this conversation, and then the popular people. They filter out who's in the loop and who's not. Like I was on YouTube, right, and I saw this thumbnail of like Wi-Fi's funeral talks about his favorite MF Doom verse. I didn't watch the video because I was busy, but seeing that made me happy, you know, because these cats like these.
He knows.
Yeah, I guess so. Like he must be in the loop. I mean, I don't know the guy, but like
I don't know nothing about his music either. Like I've heard that name, but I never looked them up or heard anything that I know of.
But like the point I'm getting at is like you think SoundCloud rapper and you think closed-minded contemporary, just focus on the current. You know?
Yeah.
So to see one of the leading faces of that little wave, not little, it's a big wave. Some of the leading faces of that wave, just being like, yeah, my favorite MF Doom verse is this, and it's like, oh, thank God, you know,
Yeah.
like little cats like that, bro. They
catch you off guard, huh? Like,
yeah. Yeah, man. Like, it took me a while to get into MF Doom because I didn't even realize I was a fan of his until I was, because I used to watch Adult Swim and his music.
Was in the background playing. You were
Yeah.
like, that was dope.
Yeah, that's wild, man. You know, I can see y'all. I can totally see y'all catching some type of placement in that little. You know, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know,
that hip hop scene, you saying? Like,
no, not like hip hop scene, but like, you know, the cartoons with music in the background, like.
Oh, like that little. You talking about the imagery of the production?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I can see y'all doing something like that.
That's what started me up, man, from the get, man. Like that boom bap, that raw, that sound, man, that MF sound, that ninth sound, that Pete Rock sound.
Those are your favorite producers?
Dilla, yeah.
Yeah.
Dilla, yeah, Alchemist. And then at one time I had a Just Blaze moment too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
isn't it funny how people become your favorites for short periods of time?
I feel like I'm like a replica of all them in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause you know, like I don't know, man. Like they inspired me like so much. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, like, you know, it's really hard to like narrow down to like a top 5, 10. It's like you're guilty naming them.
I'll be man. Cause fuck, yo, like Timbaland, man, and Danger Hand and 88 Keys. Like people, there's things that people overlook, man. The art, I No ID, like. I can go on and on, man.
Right,
like all these different sounds coming from these different producers, man. It's like, what the hell, man?
And like when you look at into their world, all they're doing is just working.
Yeah,
that's it. They're like, well, I don't know, man. I'm just like in the Carter documentary when Lil Wayne went platinum in a week, and everyone around him is bugging out, celebrating. And he's like,
I'm going to the studio.
I was just in the studio.
Yeah.
And that's just really what it is.
He said the 3 S's. Set, studio. We had stage, set, studio. What was it?
I can't recall. I don't want to misspeak.
Man, maybe I'm doing it wrong. But he said studio, stage, and set. I don't know.
But like people like in that world, you know, in their minds, they're just pushing another track out. It's just so crazy how, like, yo, when you get to that world, man, it's almost like your influence is just beyond your own comprehension. All that you're focused on is just the next verse or the next beat, you know? Like, whatever, man. Like, the influence it is what it is. Let me just focus on this, you know?
Keep it moving, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you had, I'm gonna put you on the spot, bro. If you had to mention like your 5 off the top favorite producers, who would they be? Don't even think too much of it.
Just Blaze. Damn, I don't know why I said his name first, but whatever. Just Blaze. Pete Rock. J Dilla. Timbaland.
Okay.
And because he's from my hood, and he reminds me of me to a certain degree, A-Rap music, because he had beats on them MPs, man.
A-Rap music, yeah, for sure, man.
Bro.
Yeah, when you look up some A-Rap music like on Open Late with Peter Rosenberg, and you see him like playing live,
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, like people, I don't know, man. Like they don't.
The way he does them live sets, and it's like he's ready for war, man. He got ammo for days, and it's like, bro, y'all don't see this kid.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's not mentioned much. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's produced. Of course, he's producing still. You know, doing stuff. But like, I don't hear of him like I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you use an MPC or you use a MIDI keyboard?
I use an MPC and a MIDI keyboard. I got that complete control key. That's pretty crazy.
Fire.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah,
that's
hell
my
yeah,
baby right now.
Yo, Native Instruments low key, like they they're where it's at, man.
Game changer, man.
It is, man.
So you got a couple of native things, you know, in your room, bro. There's gonna be some craziness going on in that laptop.
The thing that I love about the MK2 or the Mark II, I call it MK2, and the MK3 is that they have like, I'm pretty sure other MPCs have it, but I was exposed to it through Native Instruments. Like you have these 16 pads, right?
Yeah.
But you can also go on keyboard mode, and then you can pick like either chromatic or major or minor scale, you know.
Or it plays it depending on where you have it.
Yeah, and it'll show you the 7 keys and then the octave, and it keeps going from there. So no matter what you play, it's in that key. You get me?
Insane, man.
It is, man.
You can do a lot with that thing, yo. It's ridiculous.
It really is, man. It's wild.
And to think that I have my Akai MPC 2000, the original one with the floppy disk, still.
Yeah.
Running.
Running, word.
I'm still using that, baby.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, you know those studio setups that you see where they have all the different pianos and keyboards like around the walls? Like, that's gotta be the best shit ever. But like, if
to just walk in and be like, look at my world. Look at all this.
And to have them all rigged up, like they're all, you turn on one switch and they all turn on.
Yeah.
And then
it's lit.
And then at any point, like, you know, you have, let's say you're tracking out the instruments on Pro Tools or whatever, and you're like, and you just walk to one of those pianos and just, you play a key and it comes out the speaker, and like, that's wild, bro. Like,
It's
what a
freaking
dream,
awesome,
you know?
Yo. I'm trying to get to that place.
Me too, man. Like, I think that home studios is going to be pretty much the future. Like, I know it kind of is now, but there's still like big studios. It's still a big industry.
Of course. But this is, don't sleep on the home studios, because there's a lot of big projects being done that way, man.
Right. Like, you get a room that has like windows, so you have good sunlight, and like you just light up some, you know, incense, or if you smoke or some shit, and like that is just the vibe, bro.
It is.
You know, I love it, man. And you've had that in your room in Hialeah since like 2005, bro.
Bro.
Like, we're talking about over a decade. You've been on that home studio tip, you know?
Yep.
I remember you had that little booth, that little makeshift booth.
The porta potty booth.
Yeah, for
Look
sure.
like you take a dump in there.
Yeah. You walk in there and like it's just foam everything, and it was just this little structure, man. Like, you've been on it, man. You manifested it, bro.
Yeah, I just did what I could. I felt like, you know, I had to make it happen for myself, because no one was gonna do it for me.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. You know that you are one of the first producers that I worked with independently after the crew I was in, DMG, because with them, that was my first introduction into like, you know, professional music studio.
Okay.
I was working with Drop, and he worked with Fat Joe, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But then after I stopped rocking with them, and I kind of went on a little soul searching hiatus, and I went back. I'm like, yeah, now I'm gonna reapproach this as a solo artist.
Yeah.
And I hollered at my little crew like, yo, who do you know that makes music? You know, and Frank and Drew. You know, shout out to Frank Sassoni, man. That's
my guy, man.
And Drew.
Sassoni, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Frank, yo. That's love right there, bro.
Yeah. He always hits me up like, you know, you never hit me up, man. Whenever you talk about producers, and I'm like, man, is that you're more than a producer to me, man. You're like my brother. And he's like, that's not enough. He's like, that's not enough, man.
It's not enough.
You know, we have this little ongoing joke about how like I always omit him from everything, and my excuse is always, well, you're like my brother, you know. And it's like yo, Art, man, like what would your response be if you found out one day we're blood related, we're actually brothers? And I'll be like, it's like, you're not my brother, you're like my brother.
You're like my brother, but you're not.
Yeah, man. Like, and they put me on to you, man, and you were just like cool to just go through beats. Like, I would imagine in your mind, you're just like, another day at the office, let me just make this other little connection.
Nah, man, to be honest, and that point in my life, I was just like, damn, man, like I'm playing beats for somebody I don't know. I'm kind of scared right now.
For real?
In a sense, because like I told you, like, coming from me, I wasn't where I wanted to be production-wise. Like I felt like, you know, I still wasn't in that place where I'm like, yeah, I got this, you want to hear this? I got this for you. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying?
You know, like, we're talking about 12 years later, you telling me that it's this crazy closure, because in my mind, I was like, man, I'm not good enough. Let me come off like I am. Isn't that funny how
I was doing the same thing you was doing.
Yeah. There's got to be somebody that walks into the room and is like, just so y'all know, none of us are good enough yet.
Yeah. We're,
you know, just to ground us.
Going back to what I was saying in the beginning of the interview, I felt like we was in the same place.
Yeah.
That's because we were in the same place. Like, mentally, I know where you was at because I was there too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, but, and like, okay, it goes to show in your world, like, you and I were in the same kind of like trajectory.
Yeah.
But like, you had an amazing support. So you were blessed with this amazing, you had homies that rock with you. Y'all were just team players.
Yeah.
And me, I always till this day, I have issues with relationships with people. So I find myself being alone a lot, you know? And it's like, it goes to show how much more effective a team is than roughing it out on your own, you know? Like, for everyone out there that's listening, bro, like, if you have one or two homies that rock with you, you better fucking not kick them out when y'all go at it one day. Like,
Yeah,
you
don't
know
be
what I'm
petty,
saying?
man. Don't be petty, man. Y'all be growing about it. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Grow from it, man.
Sometimes walking outside for 20 minutes is the best thing to do, bro.
Yeah, man. Ain't no need
You know?
to fall out, man, over something dumb, petty, Most of the time, nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's way worse things going on. You talking about, bro?
I can't even imagine you mad. I'm trying to picture you pissed right now, and like, I just can't. I can't, bro.
And I try to avoid that, man. You know, but that's danger at the same time because I hold in a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when that day comes, yeah.
You just be pressing them pads mad hard, like that snare, like.
I make sure them 808s is knocking, hitting your chest, like, feel that.
That's
nah,
funny.
man, but I try to avoid that realm, bro. Like I told you, just keep the energy going, that good energy going. Man.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. You know,
You know
like,
what I mean?
listen, man, like,
I only track that stuff,
word. Yeah, I need to work on that. I'm just taking accountability on my end. You know how some cats, they'll almost like just go along with everything. Yeah, word. Like, nah, I'm trying to like own up to like, nah, I personally gotta work on this and that. You know, man, like I just came out with this project, bro, called Transit City, like about a month ago now. And like that project, if I had to explain it, it's kind of like just my observation about how, Miami, there's a lot of movement. And like people come in and out of your lives. People come to the city and they're gone before you know it. And you see this like constant just transit, And like that's so symbolic with like the relationships, Whereas now, like people come in and out of my life and I'm almost like just detached from almost everyone,
Desensitized.
Yeah. Whereas I'm not even mad when they go. I'm just like
you're just like you expect it, so it's not like gonna surprise you anymore.
Right. Whereas like, now with this little podcast, I mean, so far I'll holler at, like, for example, I'll holler at you and here you are, man. And like, we're able to share this little moment just to chop it up, man. I really appreciate you coming through, bro.
I just felt like it was long overdue, man. We haven't seen each other for some time, bro. Musically and all, like, and, just to kick it, we haven't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, a lot's happened since the last time you see me, bro.
I heard, man.
Yeah. Well, hopefully what you heard is not exaggerated, bro.
Nah, bro.
Like,
I heard it from the source, man, and from a couple of close people.
Yeah. Reliable sources.
Yeah, reliable sources. They weren't,
that's cool.
down
man.
talking, man. It was just saying the situation. That's all.
And even if they were, bro, like, listen, if someone's down talking me, like when they talk about me or whatever, I almost don't even take it the wrong way. I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, I'm so indifferent.
That,
Yeah. I'm like, whatever, bro. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah, ain't no bad karma, man.
Yeah.
Just like love, man. All right, cool, man. Whatever. Just treat them like like you should, bro. Just keep them at a distance, man.
Yeah.
But wish them well, and that's it. Keep it moving.
Well, listen, man. Like before we close out, bro, because we've been talking for pretty much an hour now.
I didn't even feel that.
Yeah, it's
You're
funny,
right.
bro.
Time flies.
I know, man. I mean, I kind of have the laptop facing me, so you don't see how long it's going for what I do.
Crazy, yeah.
But listen, man. You want to tell people kind of where they can find you on social media and what you're working on?
Yeah, you can find me on, as far as Instagram goes, City Official. Together, City Official, the way it's spelled. And on Twitter, City Official 87. City Official 87. You can find me on Twitter, just like that. And Facebook, I don't really use Facebook much,
Yeah, that's cool.
I still have my old production name on my Facebook name. They don't even let me update that, so I try not to promote the Facebook much, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all good.
But the SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/cityofficialbeats. Definitely check that out.
For sure. And I guess it's safe to say that what you're working on is just yet another song, another day, another song, right?
Yeah, man. Look up. You can go on theheist.com as well. So look up Wreck-It Ralph, the mixtape. I produced the majority of it. It got some production in there with Geeko and Andrew Hypes from Virginia. So yeah, you can definitely check that out on theheist.com.
Yeah, and that's the heist is with a D-A.
Yeah,
not
DAHEIST.
Yeah, for sure. Word, man. I'm happy. I'm happy to know that you're still at it, man. You know, like not that I suspected that you weren't, but that your trajectory is going just fine, bro. You know,
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, man, that's episode 19 of the Medianoche podcast. If you're around the way, man, feel free to drop a Medianoche off. It's much appreciated. You
Definitely.
know?
Starving.
Yeah, for sure. All right, y'all. We out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.